Fun fact of the day. Playtex, the bra, tampon, and infant care product company, also made the spacesuits for the Apollo space program. Fun fact of the day. National Hockey League team, the Anaheim Ducks, were created by the Walt Disney Company in 1993 and named after its film, The Mighty Ducks. Fun fact of the day. Treasure Island and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde author Robert Louis Stevenson gave away his birthday in 1891. Fun fact of the day. The South Pole is the North Pole of Earth's magnetic field, and the North Pole is the South Pole of Earth's magnetic field. Fun fact of the day. The word mortgage comes from the Old French words for death pledge, because the deal dies when the debt is paid or payment fails. Fun fact of the day. The Near-Earth Object Surveyor, a NASA space telescope scheduled to launch in 2027, has an officially registered Scottish tartan. Fun fact of the day. There were no hot peppers in India until 1498. There were no bananas in Central America until 1516. There were no tomatoes in Italy until 1548. There were no oranges in Florida until 1565. There were no potatoes in Ireland until 1585. There were no peanuts in China until the 1600s. There was no chocolate in Belgium until 1635. There was no tea in Britain until 1657. There were no pineapples in Hawaii until 1770. There were no avocados in California until 1856. There were no kiwi fruit in New Zealand until 1904. Fun fact of the day. Michelin is one of the world's largest tire producers, and also awards Michelin stars to restaurants for excellence. Fun fact of the day. Reasons for admission to a mental asylum in late 19th century America included fighting fire, the war, novel reading, parents were cousins, and kicked in the head by a horse. Fun fact of the day. The Financial Modeling World Cup is an international competition for creating models in Microsoft Excel. Fun fact of the day. The 1996 Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to Douglas Oscheroff, a professor at Stanford University who worked on the first floor of the Varian Physics Building. In 1997, the Nobel Prize in Physics went to Stephen Chu, who worked on the second floor of Varian. The 1998 prize went to Robert Laughlin, from the third floor. Fun fact of the day. Mickey Mouse was the first fictional character to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He was acknowledged for notability in film on November 13, 1978. Since then, 19 more stars have been dedicated to fictional characters. Bugs Bunny, Snow White, Pee Wee Herman, Woody Woodpecker, Big Bird, The Simpsons, The Rugrats, Kermit the Frog, Donald Duck, Godzilla, Winnie the Pooh, The Munchkins, Shrek, Tinkerbell, The Muppets, Snoopy, Minnie Mouse, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and Batman. Fun fact of the day. Various indigenous peoples across North and Central America have used the three sisters in agriculture since ancient times. Squash, corn, and climbing beans are planted together. The cornstalk supports the climbing beans and is reinforced against wind. The beans fix nitrogen to fertilize the soil, and the wide leaves of the squash keep the ground moist and free from weeds. Fun fact of the day! There is an inaccessible 70-foot tunnel behind Lincoln's Head in Mount Rushmore. Fun fact of the day. Hungarian-American magician and escapologist Harry Houdini was the first person to fly a powered aircraft in Australia. Fun fact of the day. In 2019, the United States Centers for Disease Control advised Americans to stop kissing hedgehogs. Fun fact of the day. At the time of his victory at the 1980 European Table Tennis Championships, John Hilton was only ranked 4th at his local YMCA's table tennis club. Fun fact of the day. The West End production of Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap is the longest-running play in history. It opened in 1952 and ran continuously until a year-long hiatus in 2020. Fun fact of the day. While watching a 1957 baseball game, Philadelphia Phillies fan Alice Roth was hit by a foul ball, breaking her nose. As she was being carried out of the stadium on a stretcher, Roth was hit by another foul ball hit by the same batter. Fun fact of the day. Making purchases during Diwali is considered good luck, making it an enormous shopping season. Up to 40% of consumer goods sales in India take place around the holiday. Fun fact of the day. An amendment requiring psychologists and psychiatrists to dress as wizards when providing expert testimony in court unanimously passed the New Mexico State Senate in 1995, but was never signed into law. Fun fact of the day. Barry Manilow is a legendary singer-songwriter with 13 #1 hits, and he also wrote TV jingles for brands that include Band-Aid and State Farm. Fun fact of the day. During World War II, U.S. Navy divers were given detailed instructions on how to release themselves if eaten by a giant clam. Fun fact of the day. The first televised presidential debate in the United States was between Senator Margaret Chase Smith, representing Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Eleanor Roosevelt, representing Adlai Stevenson. Fun fact of the day. Starting around 1400, the remains of between 40,000 and 70,000 people in Czechia were unearthed and moved to the Sedlec ossuary. Originally piled in heaps, the skeletons were artistically rearranged by woodcarver František Rint in 1870. Fun fact of the day. The last person to be convicted of witchcraft was Jane Rebecca York, a British medium. She was found guilty of 7 counts of witchcraft in 1944 and was fined £5. Fun fact of the day. Early British names for Halloween included Snap Apple Night and Nutcracker Night. Fun fact of the day. Each Halloween, Americans spend around $1.2 billion on costumes for children, $1.7 billion on costumes for adults, and $700 million on costumes for pets. Fun fact of the day. Vincent Price, the actor best known for his portrayal of horror villains, was also a gourmet chef who wrote multiple cookbooks and hosted a TV cooking show. Fun fact of the day. Around the turn of the 20th century, Halloween cards were just as popular as Christmas cards and birthday cards. Fun fact of the day. The city of Conway in South Carolina has been officially renamed to the City of Halloween every October since 2022.